Welcome to LFN News, a production of LFN Media, bringing you the latest in celebrity news, with specific analysis to keep you in the know of what is going on around you. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, and hit the bell icon, so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Well, the government seems to have thought through their Chicago case game plan so well that they figured out, if they showed the jury the tape that was the center of the same case in 2008, that evidently did not show R. Kelly in the video, but some other man with a fabricated mole on his back created with video distortion, in an effort to mislead the jury into identifying him as R. Kelly, then they would be shooting themselves in the foot. More so, a testimony from the retired detective that had already revealed there could have been some more distortion made on the said tape, probably in another effort to identify the man in the video as R. Kelly, had also already punched holes in their original game plan. The retired detective had earlier confessed that the video he had seen 20 years ago was not the same video he was recently shown allegedly portraying R. Kelly as the man in the video. More so, the tape from 20 years ago was a VHS and not a disc which was recently shown to the retired detective. With all these glaring loopholes in their original act, prosecution must have thought that proceeding without the tape was the next best game plan. But boy, were they wrong. In fact, their decision to tell the jury that they would not be showing tape 4 of the tapes in their evidence, might just have sparked off a debate amongst the jury on why they would keep such a central piece of evidence to themselves, that would supposedly support Jane's testimony, who was allegedly the girl in the same video with R. Kelly. This must have gone on to raise questions in the minds of the objective jurors that thought this was a little out of order, prompting prosecution to move on with yet another story, that they did not have tape 4 in their custody. Well, this was such a low punch coming from a U.S. prosecution team if you asked me. Now, the U.S. justice system is looked at as the best in the world, and although we have seen several gaps here and there and numerous cases of prejudice, we too can attest to the fact that a claim that a piece of critical evidence, in such a high-profile case has gone missing from discovery is sheer madness. I'm sure the jury did not buy this at all, and where the prosecution did not do their homework well enough is in the fact that, with the supposed tape in question, that is meant to be the central piece of evidence in the case now missing, Jane's testimony, however colorful, would not hold. Jane, the same lady who denied she was the girl in the video, has put on a colorful show in this Chicago trial, claiming she is indeed the girl in the now missing video, together with R. Kelly. She has gone on to allege that she got involved with R. Kelly countless times while she was under the age of 18 and bragged that it felt normal for her being videotaped, claiming this was a normal thing that people in love do. Really? Normal? This sudden change of heart has actually been interpreted by Bonjean, lead attorney of R. Kelly's legal team, as an effort to exonerate herself from the crimes she committed way back, having attempted to extort R. Kelly of millions, in exchange for her not taking the stand in that infamous 2008 trial, the government's first effort to lock away R. Kelly. This is exactly how the government gets exposed as to having vested interest in finding R. Kelly guilty in this specific case, serving as a good cover-up for the shoddy work they did in New York, that Bonjean has already punched holes into. Well, to them, this trial simply has to work out, or else, R. Kelly will be walking the streets free in no time, thanks to the pending appeal that the whole world already knows is an inevitable win for R. Kelly, owing to the critical errors by the prosecution, that birthed technicalities in the trial that can't be plugged. Unfortunately for prosecution, the Chicago trial is rather unique. The jury is seemingly impartial and objective, and Bonjean has made a deliberate effort to keep the jury reminded that this is a case of facts and not mere heresy, as was the case in New York. The emotions that surrounded the New York trial in the wake of the infamous Surviving R. Kelly documentary will be greatly missed by prosecution in Chicago. There is very little room for prejudice, and as fate may have it, at least half of the jury is black. Now let's see how an impartial, objective jury will go on to base their ruling on the words of a woman that 20 years ago swore she was not the girl in the video before anyone that cared to listen. She swore to the police, swore to detectives, swore to the prosecutors, and even swore under oath to the jury. Moreover, this was more than 20 years ago. She now suddenly gets a change of heart, not 5 years later, Not 10 years later, not even 15 years later, but more than 20 years later? Interestingly, at an opportune time, when R. Kelly has just been wrongly convicted and sentenced in yet another federal case in New York. Interesting. But a change of heart is no crime, and in fact, it probably could have passed. But what will raise every juror's eyebrow is the fact that the central piece of evidence, meant to be the center of the whole trial, in which she supposedly features, is somehow conveniently missing at this particular point in time. Prosecution must have greatly underestimated the jury, leave alone the judge, for them to think that this testimony will be upheld, even in the absence of the supposed video, which they very well know, holds an image of a man with no mole on his lower back, a man that is clearly not R. Kelly. Well, even if it was Jane in that supposed video, the man in the video with her is definitely not R. Kelly, and this was confirmed more than 20 years ago by a whole jury, having watched the said video on a 4x4-foot monitor with freeze frames of the man's back, only to spot a mark that some alleged appeared to be a mole, but prosecution would later be disappointed upon the discovery that it was a mere technical imperfection on the tape that only appeared like so. A forensic expert, Charles Palm, went on to testify that the fingernail-sized mark seen on the lower back of the man in the tape at the center of the case was not actually a mole but mere video distortion. The black mark appears and disappears because the video has been duplicated so many times. It therefore cannot be a mole. He explained. Well, all we can do now is wait it out and see what the jury will make of Jane's sudden change of heart in the wake of the missing tape. That's all we had for you today. Please let us know what you think is the reason behind prosecution alleging the critical evidence is now missing. We value your honest opinion. Thank you for watching LFN News, a production of LFN Media, giving you another view of issues at hand. To get notified whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now and hit the notification icon. And remember to give us your comment on the subject matter below.